Hey everybody, welcome back to Northern Lion Plays Monster Train. We were probably gonna lose, maybe not, but it was still a mistake that got us there last run. But it was fun. It was a fun one. So we have unfun losses, but that was a fun loss. Melting Stygian. I do like the Stygian as an allied clan. Give me the Burnout Wrecktor. Give me the Burnout Wrecktor. Frozen to a random card in your hand. I do see it applying well to Sacred Wicks, but everything cheaper for the whole run is really good. It's the Burnout Wrecktor. Okay, so now we have a very simple focus. Well, actually, because we can reform the Wrecktor, and he'll come back as Burnout 4, we can play him pretty easily right from the get-go. I think we can definitely try that. The problem is we want to keep him alive as long as possible. We don't want to reform him, I think. But he does do so much damage. Just so much damage. There's no real reason to play these, but that it's hard to justify, you know, not playing him. So we really are just we're gonna play him and then try to keep him alive the whole time. But it probably will not work immediately. After that, I expect it to work in a huge way. So we're putting the Dreg up front to block this shot from this guy next turn. So our champion is about to burn out, which is actually fine timing. And we don't really care if you live. This is okay. The reason it's fine timing is we have a very good chance to draw Sacred Wicks next turn, and it can only hit this unit and this unit. Might as well wipe him. Don't need to play the other two yet. We did not draw Sacred Wicks, but I'll tell you, I still think that's completely fine. We'll just stack, because we're guaranteed to draw it on the next turn instead. We'll play our champion up in the middle here, and this one is easy. This is what you get when you get a 60-60 champion right off the get-go. Okay, so and now that I think about it, there were 7 possible options. So we got a little lucky that we didn't run into trouble there. And I mean, a little lucky is relative because we were going to win anyway, but it just goes to show you we need more burnout enablers. Molded is probably the best available card here, so that we can choose what we want to bring back. And then we do have 2 discard engines, but I worry that maybe like these aren't that relevant for us right now. I do like maybe getting a 3rd one. Because the damage is honestly, like, pretty good. But the discard is bad, obviously. Crypt Builder is a ton of damage. If we hit it with an offering, it's easy enough. But I do think... Well, hold on. How many Frozen Lance... It's way better than Frozen Lance. I do think we take it and then try to yeet our Frozen Lances as soon as possible. And then... I like Siren of the Sea, but this is not going to be a spell-focused deck for the most part. Trying to think, in response to the units we already have, I think having Cold Celia, really, here's the way I see it. Champion up at the front, there we go. Champion up at the front, Cold Celia, one behind. That's not how this works. Cold Celia, look, the camera is mirrored, okay? So, Champion up at the front, Cold Celia, one behind. There you go. That way, it's a sweeping unit that can hit the units that our champion will not hit. I really wanted to make my champ endless until I realized that was not possible. I do think... It's tough, right? Here's the thing. I think Entombed Explosive with endless is totally fine. I think you just don't make it the linchpin of your deck. And we actually have great damage dealers in the form of our champion. So I actually think this is super okay. And we're gonna make Cold Celia a little bit stronger just in case. Do we really want to be an 1140 though? That just, I don't know if that interests me enough. For now, I'll tell you, I don't think our dregs are that good. But Frozen Lance has got to go way faster, now that I think about it. We do want better units. But this is like, it's kind of a weird one. I think having just an all-around strong-ish unit, it's kind of interesting to me. And then maybe we'll actually give that Siren the HP so she can live long enough to hopefully scale a little bit. But +1/+1 per spell, it's not like she's going to ball out of control. So units are coming in with armor 10, and you're giving spikes. We turn that on. Armor 10 doesn't matter when you have a champion that does 60 damage per hit. It's just going to be annoying. What do we want? Well, we're going to get 1 kill. This is going to be annoying, admittedly. But we want... Well, in general, we want Cold Celia at the bottom to slow these units down. But to get us the gold here, I think it maybe makes more sense to put Cold Celia up. And for a short fight like this, it shouldn't make too much of a difference. No reason to play it. You're gonna die on hit, but that's okay. Cold Celia is not gonna last too long because of the spikes, but it also doesn't really matter because we have molded. It's a pretty decent incant. Okay, so our champion is gone, but they will be back. It'll take us at least 2 turns, which sucks real bad. But they will be back. Dude, I hate those spikes. Why being such a jerk about the spikes? Do we care about this? I don't think we care about this. We don't want to make it so it's harder to get our champion on the slay trigger. Or on the bring him back trigger. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, didn't matter. Didn't even need our champion, apparently. Cold Celia, a real MVP there. A real MVP, and we have not taken any damage. This deck is looking like an early game superstar. So, Purifying Cleanse is basically what we want. Targeted damage to hit units at the back is basically what we want. That's interesting. Big Sludge. What a name. So one of the plays might be to set up an incant floor, and the idea would be every time you played a spell, you would get +1/+1 on the Siren, the other Siren. You get Rage 1 on this Siren. I kind of like the idea of Big Sludge just harvesting dregs over and over and becoming like a real mean son of a gun. That's the way I look at it right now. So we'll take our free relic. It's just not what we want. I do value it, don't get me wrong, but it's not what we want. On Extinguish, 5 armor to the front unit is very interesting. I think we want none of these. Units are very important in the early game, but I think we got a decent setup for where we're at right now. Now, for copy a card or copy a card 5 times, I really think that copying Molded is great, but I also think copying Purifying Cleanse, even without an upgrade, I'm thinking of like 5 is too many. 2 might be too few to guarantee that our champion gets kept alive, because the champion's always going to be played on turn 1. He's unkillable on turn 1 for the time being. It should give us a much better chance, though. So now we go to Burnout 5, which is very nice. And now we got Cold Celia at the back, which is exactly what we want. Now, Molded doesn't do anything, but that's fine. So it's very rare to have a situation where you kill the entire first floor on the first turn. But that's what's happening here. And we're doing the exact same thing again. So I think you go maybe, honestly, give me Big Sludge on floor 2. We're putting dregs back there as well. And then the Siren of the Sea, I actually don't think we need them out there. But playing a spell doesn't really matter right now. So I will summon her. I know she's going to take 10, but she's not going to have to deal with anything for quite some time. So I wouldn't worry about this too much just yet. So you guys, you're still doing great. I'm going to actually put the Entombed Explosive up here, because we'll get another Harvest trigger on that to begin with. Oh, I was going to say, you're getting +10 because 2 units are dying, giving you armor. I understand. Let's do the same thing here. If we can have our champion get the armor for that, that's pretty nice. This is like a weird one, but I think that's how you play it, strangely enough. Maybe we could have put a Train Steward at the top there. We're killing time until these Train Stewards get out of our deck to begin with. How are we at? Our champion's got Burnout too, so we got a 50% chance to draw the Cleanse. I would really like to draw it. Duh. It's crazy that you're not dying, dude. But when you die, you're gonna give... No, maybe it doesn't matter. Anyway, you take the hit for now. Let's make up for our earlier mistake there. We didn't get the cleanse, so our champion is gonna die. And it just is what it is. 2 and 5. This is good. What we... Hopefully... No, we're not going to get a molded next turn either, so we're going to have to stall a little bit. So it's pretty clear that we have... Don't use this yet. We might shuffle into it. It's pretty clear that we need to get burnout happening a little faster, because it is a struggle right now. But we're still in a very, very, very okay spot. Don't really need to play Purifying Cleanse. And the aggregate Frostbite is going to be a good friend to us here as well. Now, we can't bring anything back, which, again, is a huge bummer. However, you're taking 200 damage. Now you're taking 252 damage. Now you're dead. Okay, so we didn't even need our champion. But imagine how much better it would be if we had our champion. I really just didn't want 5 Purifying Cleanses. I thought that was a little much. I don't really like any of these, to be honest. I mean, I like Bounty Stalker, don't get me wrong. But I don't know if we want 2 endless cards. Oh, dude, I gotta follow my heart on this one. I gotta follow my heart and say no, even though it's a rare pack. So we don't want Lady of the Reformed because we don't want to keep our burnout units alive. But do we want to create a situation where we can also have our burnout units get enraged first? I honestly don't look to you as like that good of an enabler for that sort of stuff. Because our actual big sludge is not a burnout unit. We could give him burnout, but we don't really want to. I mean, you're gonna look at me like I lost my mind. I think that's a double skip. Energy is not really a concern at the time being. And if that's the case, I think you go draw our capacity. And capacity, like 90% of the time, is my play. Despite this, I would not take the skips as a sign that I've lost it. Instead, I would take the skips as a sign that I really feel like I know what I want from this deck. And I'll tell you, it's a heavy cost to pay to draw this every time. But it's nice enough that I feel like it's the right play. So let's make our other Frozen Lance, get out of there with cheap removal. I don't feel like making something cheaper is as good as cutting like another Frozen Lance. We are going to get another 2 removal here. A couple of Train Stewards coming out. Still advisable to me. And then I do like this. I just wonder if there's any place for it. I feel like the answer is kind of no. You could put it on the bottom floor and it would fit. It would tank for your champion tank. You don't really need anything to tank for sludge yet. I suppose you could have something tank for sludge. Alright, you've sold me that the Titan Sentry is probably worth taking. And I really think at this point, although bringing a random unit back every single turn is great for big sludge, this unit getting huge is the whole reason we made that burnout spell holdover in the first place. Enemy units enter with Spell Shield 2. I feel like we do not cast enough spells for that to be a major concern at the time being. So I'm feeling great about where we're at right now. So we know we love this, and you're going down. We know we love this, and then we put some dregs up there with you. So you're gonna do 1 damage. So we put an Entombed Explosive at the front instead. That's how we handle this. So we choose not to play one of these. We definitely play this. We definitely play this. Stop the bleeding up here. And then we take your gold. This is a pretty great position. So now we didn't draw any of our anti-burnout spells yet. But that's okay. Like, genuinely okay. We can put you up here to frostbite all these guys. We would still like you... All of our harvestable units essentially belong there. So that big sludge can just get real spicy. Not that he's really needed to do anything as of the present moment, but... Alright, is it finally time? Is it finally time for Big Sludge to do something? Oh, this is very good. So we bring back our champion who has actually gotten a little bit stronger as well. And they fit right there. And then we go, yeah, you got 6 burnout. Yeah, you got 8 burnout. No place for these dregs necessarily. How you doing? You're dead! That's beautiful. Just let it go. Alright, so this is exactly what we want to have happen. We do just want to draw our Purifying Cleanse a little faster. But that'll happen as our deck gets thinner as well. I really don't feel like Fatal Melting is that necessary here, so I feel like we're kind of like... We're on. I feel like we're on. We just smoked that trial. Nothing... I don't think anything ever made it to the 2nd floor. Or it did, but like... Certainly nothing made it to the 3rd floor. This is just really good. Like, I think Frenzied Swarm... I'm hesitant to add anything to this deck. That's how good it is. I'll add it without even thinking about it. So, probably, in my opinion, the best thing we could do is make Big Sludge better, like multi-strike, but having the opportunity to look at some relics was interesting to me as well. This is insanely good. Grant 3 stacks of burnout each time it's applied. It might seem... I mean, it's bad for our dregs, because we want them to die to power up Big Sludge, but that's about it. It's so good for our champion. And honestly, our dregs have 3 HP, so they're gonna die anyway. We'll just play them in front instead of behind now. Though it's spicy, I feel like buying more pyre damage is always gonna be great. I mean, right now this is a 50% pyre damage boost, which is... I mean, I don't know, I don't deign to be good enough at the mathematics of it to figure out how much damage that saves us. But it seems like it would be a ton. I also feel like we can totally survive enemies that have +6 as long as they don't have multi-strike. +6 attack. Ah, stealth is nasty. I feel like this is fine because we don't do that much on our bottom floor anyway. We only need 2 floors. We'll put Big Sludge on the top floor. So that's the way we want that set up. Although, admittedly, this guy on the bottom would die, but also do some good work. And let's get a Dreg going, just in case. Just in case we drop Big Sludge next turn, which we totally did. So Big Sludge will go here. Not that it matters too much. And you're going to hit us for 14, which I would prefer if you didn't, but it's okay. I don't mind you getting hit. It's kind of like what you do. Let's slow these guys down, although it will give him a harvest trigger. There's not too much you can do about that one. So this is big. Although, I'm like, we could actually give you... This is not our holdover one. Well, it's wild. I almost think we give you the burnout to keep you alive. Brat. Not that it's going to affect our champion too much to begin with, but that hurts. You're really not living on 31? Yeah, they're doing 32 damage. Fair enough. Fair enough. That's alright. That's what Molded is there for, is to bring him back. It's one of the reasons Molded is there, at least. Our champion can afford the hit, quite frankly. 65 damage. I think we stop you from getting to the pyre. I'm not too worried about our champion taking so many hits they die. That seems pretty unlikely to me. So this is what we're looking for. Admittedly, the man only comes back with Burnout 4, but... And he dies in the process. But our champion gets a little stacked as a result, which is nice. I think we actually put this one up here for now. And you guys on the bottom, I mean, we'll try. This is a brief respite territory, right? It's telling, I think, that this looks horrible, and yet nothing has gotten to our top floor at all yet. Or nothing has gotten to our pyre at all yet, I should say. So you're not dying. That is something we'd like to fix. First, you need to go probably all the way. You go to Burnout 5. Just trying to think. You don't die. If you don't die, I think I actually, bizarrely, you have sweep anyway, huh? I like this, which will at least kill these guys at the back. I think we'll try to stun you as well. I don't think it's going to change things very much. But so this guy's going to do one hit to our pyre. Nobody cares. You still have 3 lifesteal, but is, like I said, it's not enough to even be concerned. Especially if we put you in front here. You know, I mean, we'll just hit you with the TLDR of how this would look. It's very strong. Considering we had the trial on, that was very strong. That's a lot of money. I don't think we need it, dude. I think the tighter we get this deck, the happier we're going to be. And I think a second Frenzied Swarm makes it tighter. It's addition by addition. Everybody in these games loves addition by subtraction. That's an addition by addition sort of situation. And I think the removal is worth more than anything else we could get right now. I could be wrong. And I'll also tell you, I don't think our Siren is really all that right now. But we got other things we can purge before we really sweat that. Now, in terms of a duplication, I feel like we don't need to duplicate anything if we do not want to. But I do feel like we have a problem hitting units at the back early. And in my heart of hearts, I feel like Flash Freeze is probably your duplication. This default Flash Freeze interests me more than whatever they got going on. So you add garbage to our hand, which is bad because we don't have great energy, right? I mean, we only have 3 energy. But our pyre can also weather the slings and arrows of a few curses. So yeah, we like it. We like it. We like it. And then this comes up here just in case we get the big sludge. We got an amazing bottom floor here. We did not get big sludge. But we know big sludge is going to go here. Let's start setting up on the middle floor here. We know what we want to see out of that. I think we try to keep our frozen champion alive. Though it will seem perhaps a little bizarre. And we put this up here for Big Sledge in the future as well. We finally drew Big Sludge. And we'll put him in here. Of course. Of course. How you doing up here? Totally fine. You might as well get the heal and the burnout. And you know what? You could use another drag. Why not? And you're not really doing anything. And nobody's living? I don't really feel like playing you, honestly. I don't feel like you get played. I want to make sure I'm putting the Entombed Explosive where I want to put the Entombed Explosive. That's what I'm trying to say. So, definitely a heal on you is nice. Otherwise, you're doing fine. Let's get some more burnout on you. Really, you could probably get away with playing a Titan's Gratitude, but I would much rather just stall these guys for a turn. Now, this middle floor is definitely like the... We don't know what we're doing with that one yet. I'll own up to that. It's also, like, not a problem at all. But in principle, we might want to work around it. So, there's no reason to play Sacred Wick, so it's just a question of who you put this on. We might as well put it on you. So we have one problem with Big Sludge. If we're not harvesting a lot, or we're not harvesting quickly, which is exactly what's happening right now, Big Sludge becomes... He's not really that damage heavy, you know what I mean? He doesn't really do that much damage. And the Rage, it burns out too fast for him to really be like an enormous part of our plan here. That's how I'll choose to see it. So I'm starting to realize that having this super burnout is creating a problem for our top floor. That really shouldn't matter, but might. Like, really should. I'm just going to keep you up, because 10 burnout is totally fine. But might. Now, how... You're doing fine. In general, we would probably rather you don't take damage on the bottom. So this is what I'm concerned about right now. We need to make sure you die or almost die right off the get-go. The daze is going to do a lot, to be sure. Just think we'd do it like that. Because our other floors are not really going to do that much. But you are going to have a decent amount of frostbite. We don't need to do that much. And actually, now that I think about it, we still have like the, you know, molded coming through, which just makes this super easy. And then Cold Celia is kind of like an equally great fit. Yeah, it's pretty good. All right, so this is, we're in the clear for the time being. But we need we need to make our other two floors make sense. We're not there yet. Deal damage to the front enemy unit equal to 2x the number of spells in your deck 3 times. You telling me we have 4 spells in our deck? 2x the number of spells in your deck. We must have 12 spells 3 times. So you tell me this does 72 damage. With no spell weakness, this isn't what we want. I'm going to try Waxen Spike. Because it consumes, I think it could make for a good floor. We 1000% need to find a way to get Big Sludge to pop. And I think Large Stone is a start. Cants for Armor 1. Why not get the super incanting going here? Then incant with plus 25. Works really well on you. I'm going to do a relatively rare reroll. This is exactly what we were looking for, was the multi-strike. And then a plus 10 damage. I mean, you having an attack is nice, but I think having a better sweep is also very good. And then you having 85 health is going to make you real tough to kill. In terms of removal, it gets tough, right? I do feel like, because our dregs last longer, we don't need as many. And our champion, I was gonna say, you really just want him to hit the highest amount of possible burnout you can get. At which point he essentially becomes overpowered. The other thing is we could just have Big Sludge hit units. At which point, if he kills them, he gets rage. Yeah. I mean, hear me out. Dude, I think you pull the dregs. I do think I also want some more units. But I feel like this is okay. And this is a thin deck. That might be a little too spell heavy. But our units that are here are so good. I think, controversially, we can actually survive this trial, and I hope you'll take me at face value, because I rarely turn on the 7th floor trial. It's an extreme irregularity for me. So that's 1 death. We like it. This is really, actually, your ideal draw. You are going to make it a little further, but we accept this as part of the cost of doing business. Our first floor is set up exactly the way we want. You need a heal desperately. We'll get you out of it. Trust me, I hate it, but we're gonna get you out of it. Thanks for the gold. I do expect our pyre to take some hits. So molded is literally exactly what we're looking for. And then you're taking more than 90 damage? Are you kidding me? You're taking more than 90 damage? Anyway, this is Big Sludge's time to shine. This is expected. Might as well give our champion burnout. And then I'm like, you know, might as well give them some more damage as well. I'm still stunned my man was taking 90 damage on turn 1. The daze is very nice. So you're all dying. You're taking quite a nasty hit, but it is what it is. Just thinking about how we want to send this. Probably this and this. Then you'll die to frostbite on the next floor. You guys are going to do nothing to us, which is a beautiful thing. Oh, so you're not taking a lot of damage at all. You're almost dying, which is not great. Are we gonna... Oh, there's only one unit available to reform. So, like, you go in here is nice. And then, you're not really popping, but we know we want this in front of you. And then, I think we can actually get away with this. We're trying to... I'll admit, we're trying to get you to pop. 932 is not really a great... it's not poppable yet, but... And you're dying. Dude, I'm telling you, as long as our champion lives... Or gets brought back, nothing's gonna stop us here. And having the sweep unit make sure that, like, the support unit doesn't live is just incredible. Alright, that's very good. And very fast. We have 640 gold. It's a high number. Would you? Maybe. Maybe you would. Maybe you would, but I'm not. So I didn't even look at the boss, which is where things go terribly wrong. You sap? Doesn't seem that bad. So this is a perfect path for us, because removal's not that relevant. The pyre health is reassuring. And then let's see what you got. When you play your third spell of the turn, all cards gain +1 magic power forever. When you play a unit, a random card in your hand is reduced to 0 for the turn. Probably decent enough. 50% chance to apply daze when an enemy unit enters your train. Decent enough. I do want to see... We do have a large stone option, but none of our remaining units that have space really need upgrades, in my opinion. So we'll go for a reroll. When you summon the second unit during a turn, gain 3 energy. I really don't think we're going to need that. But out of these... Probably we would look more towards enemy units enter with frostbite, and I guess apply spell we... screw it. Maybe we can make it pop off with our 1X card. And then... I really feel like the Frenzied Swarm is always nice. It's kind of like stealth. I never feel like when we have that, we're in a bad spot. This will be very interesting, though. This will be very interesting. You're not an Ember Drain unit, which is just lovely news. One of you is dazed. You're taking frostbite damage. We know this guy's coming out. Full stop. This is not a great turn. Put Big Sludge going here, though. It's just not a great turn for what we're looking for. However, we like the daze, of course. We need our other enabling units. So Cold Celia always goes here. And then the Entombed Explosive, honestly, I feel like you could just put it up here for one more Slay trigger. And then Molded doesn't do anything. And then you probably just stop these guys from doing anything. And all of a sudden, we've hit Equilibrium. It's a nice position to be. All 4 of the units ended up being dazed. Oops. Make sure that our champion gets the burnout for the time being. think this time we'll put the Siren up. And we might as well flash freeze. I don't really know what to do with the Entombed Explosive. I guess we'll put him up here for the future. So far, this is really good. Things can change, but this is real nice. So we still want you to get healed here. All three of them got, or to get the extra burnout. I can't believe all three of them got dazed again. And honestly, I think we just go for the heavy Waxen Spike now. And a drag here, I still think it does something. Might as well get that out there. I guess we could have casted it on the Encamp floor, because the Siren, having been sapped, literally does no damage. So that's not amazing. But this bottom floor is a doozy. They're all dazed. I do not believe it. Okay, so you're dead. It's good news. Can't really move the needle on this one too much. Just keep you going. I mean, our tank has literally never been hit. I don't know. This might be a touch spicy. We're gonna try to finally get them out of the sap range so that they can actually at least do like 1 damage if the situation presents itself. So we love this. You're getting the armor now, which was highly unexpected. One of you is not dazed, but I think that's not enough to be too freaked out yet. Yeah, this is totally fine. But if you're gonna, I mean, you might as well do it. Oh, dude, our Siren finally has some damage. There, oh, and there it goes. I can't believe it. I can't believe you'd live long enough. You know what? You won't live. Okay. Annoying, but done. You have 3. You're doing great. We got no burnout issues, so we'll keep the spells going down here. Might as well slow you down a little bit. It's really good. Like, if you're watching this and you're like, oh, this is a spooky situation, it's not really a spooky situation. Although we did just lose Cold Celia to what I have to assume is a sweep, which is a bummer because that's a really nice unit for us, but at the same time, we can get away with... That doesn't move things as much as I thought. 1155, 1357, 1390. With a lot of frostbite, that's pretty great. Especially because we can still bring our champ back. Although I'll admit, we can't bring our champ... Oh, we can bring our champ back on floor 2. And we got it, which is just incredible luck, quite frankly. That'll do it! Okay! After 5,000 years, I'm free. It's time to conquer Earth. Ladies and gentlemen, after an unprecedentedly terrible run of form, we have come back with a victory. With, like, all of the trials turned on, that's gotta be a pretty good score. That feels good. I mean, it's been like a week since we won a run and advanced this Covenant rank. I'm telling you, the Melting Champion is just like... They're too strong. Merchant goods are 20% more expensive. Got some gold cards. Yo, that was my fastest win ever. And we're chunking. We're chunking. Anyway... Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the run. If you did, click the like button. It helps me out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. Must be a speed run. And I'll see you next time.